So problem number 1, is it a better deal to get 3 pieces of a 9-inch pizza or 2 pieces of a 12-inch pizza if the pizzas are the same price? So there are 8 equal slices in each of the pizzas. Okay, so when it says it's a 9-inch pizza and a 12-inch pizza, are those referring to diameters or radii? Diameters, okay? So first thing I would do is draw your pizzas. Ooh, that was a pretty good circle. Oh. That one wasn't. It had potential, and then I messed it up. Okay, so you have a radius here of what? 4.5, and then you have one of 6. Okay, for your 4.5 inch pizza, you're getting 3 pieces, so there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And then of your 6-inch pizza, you're just getting 2 pieces. So the pizzas are the same price. They want to see, are you getting more pizza for the 2 pieces, or are you getting more pizza with the 3 pieces? Okay, so how do you think that you would figure that out? Find the total area of each, right? And then what?
Divide by 8.
And then divide by 8. Okay, so, first one, how do you find area of a circle? Pi r squared. Okay, so my first one, I have a radius of 4.5 squared. So keeping it in terms of pi, what is the area of this guy?
20.25.
What is it?
20.25 pi.
20.25 pi. Okay, now let's calculate the area of my 12-inch pizza. What is that area going to be?
36 pi.
Perfect. Okay, so what fraction of the pizza do we have up here? 3/8. So we're going to take our total, which is 20.25 pi, and multiply that by 3/8. And then on this pizza, what fraction of the pizza do we have? 1/4. So you're taking your total area, which is 36 pi times 1/4. Okay, go ahead and, again, just keep it in terms of pi. .25 times 3/8 is going to give you what? 7.59 pi. Okay, so that's the percentage you have 8, or not the percentage, the part that you have 8 over here with your 4.5 as your radius. Okay, what's 36 pi times 1/4? 9 pi. Okay, so are you eating more pizza if you're having 3 slices of the 9-inch or 2 slices of the 12-inch? 2 slices of the 12-inch. Okay, so we just did that the long way. Now we're going to actually introduce a formula to find area of a sector. Okay, and that formula is going to be equals, you have pi r squared, that's your area, times your degree over 360. Okay, remember that that is just a fancy term for your central angle. Questions over the formula? Okay, let's practice. A circle has a diameter of 20 centimeters, which means its radius is what? 10. Okay, what is the area of the sector bounded by a 208-degree major arc? Round your answer to the nearest thousandth. Okay, so writing our equation. Pi r squared times theta over 360. Gonna substitute in. We have 208 over 360. What is 208 over 360 simplified to? 26 over 45? Okay, so you have 100 pi times 26 over 45. Okay, now you need to multiply your two numerators together, divide it by your denominator, and see if that simplifies as well. What do you get as your answer? What did you say, Raul? Or not Raul, sorry. Rajul. 520 pi over 9 is what you should have got.
Wait, how do you find that?
100 times 26 divided by 45. Math fraction. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you have 520 pi over 9, but this time it says to round your answer to the nearest thousandth. Okay, so now you actually need to figure out the decimal value. So 520 pi, divide that by 9, and rounded to the nearest thousandth. What's your answer? 514. Very good. And now that you're in area, you need to make sure that you have the appropriate units. So make sure you have units. If you're getting 57.777 okay, that's because you're not accounting for the fact that you also have pi still. Okay, 57.7778 or whatever is 2600 divided by 45. Okay, you have 2600 pi divided by 45. Alright, try number 2 on your own. You're trying to find the area of the remaining pieces, so the shaded part. Okay, what's your radius? 8. And what is your central angle? 330. Because you are looking at the darker portion, because what's remaining is the 330 degrees. Okay, so you have pi 8 squared times 330 over 360. What is 330 over 360 simplify to? 11 over 12. When you multiply across, what does that simplify to? 176 pi over 3, and in this case it says round your answer to the nearest tenth, so when you actually multiply that out and get a decimal answer, what is your decimal answer? 184.3 inches squared, because you're in area. Okay, so again, you have to make sure that you're using the appropriate central angle. If you use 30, that would give you the area of just the piece of pizza that they ate. Okay, they wanted to know the remaining pieces. Any questions on number 2? Fernando, y'all good? Okay. Number 3, find the area of the shaded part of the circle. Okay, find the area of the shaded part of the circle. So we're looking for this guy here. What's the measure of our central angle? 90, and our radius is 8. Okay, so 90 degrees, and with a radius of 8, that's going to find the area of what? The whole thing. So I'm going to stripe that like this. Okay, that's going to find my whole sector. Okay. Once I have my sector area, how am I going to get just the shaded part? You're going to have to subtract the triangle. So we're subtracting the red guy. Subtract your triangle. And that's going to equal the shaded part. Okay, so let's start one thing at a time. Sector area. How am I going to figure out the whole part? What's my formula? Very good. Pi r squared times theta over 360. So if I substitute in, I'm going to go ahead and square my radius, which is going to give me what as my first term? 64 pi. Okay, I'm going to have 90 over 360, and that simplifies to what? 1/4. Okay, so 64 pi times 1/4, leaving it in terms of pi, is going to give you what? 16 pi. We don't have units, but we can throw in a unit squared. Okay, so that's the total sector. Okay, now we need to subtract the triangle. Okay, how do I find the area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height. Okay, what is my base? 8. What is my height? 8. 1/2 of 64 is going to give me what? 32 units squared. Okay, so to find the shaded region, I need to subtract the 2. So I'm going to have 16 pi minus 32. And let's round to the nearest hundredth. 16 pi minus 32. To the nearest hundredth, what do you get? 18.27?
Yeah.
That's not what I had. 16 pi. Whoops. Okay. 27. Perfect. Any questions over finding the area of a little part, a little sliver? Alright, moving on. Find the perimeter and the area of the shaded region. Find the perimeter and the area of the shaded region. Okay, so this is the part we're focusing on. In order to find the perimeter of that, I know that this is 24 and this is 24 because it's a square, because it's marked that all sides are congruent. Okay, how do I find the measure of this? We want to know the length though, not just the angle measure. We don't want just the arc measure, we need the arc length. What we did last class, and how do we find that? Theta over 360 times what?
2 pi r.
2 pi r. Very good. And that's going to give you that length. Okay, so what is our central angle? 90 over 360 times 2 pi, and our radius is 24. Okay, somebody reduce all that and get it in terms of pi. pi, very good. Okay, so when you're doing the perimeter, okay, I know that I have 24, 24, and 12 pi. Okay, so if I tell you to round to the nearest thousandth, what would the perimeter be? Round to the nearest thousandth. Mirna, what are you looking at?
85.699.
Very good. 85.699 units. Mirna, do you see how they got that?
He just
Did you say yes?
12 pi.
Oh, you just did 12 pi? Okay, make sure you add the 24s together. Okay, so check. We found the perimeter.
Why do you only have 2.4?
Because we're looking at just the shaded part. The shaded part only has 3 sides. The curve and the 2 straight sides. Okay, so now I want to find the area of the shaded region. Okay, how are we going to do that? Area of the square minus what? Very good. Area of the square minus 1/4 area of the circle. Because we only have 1/4 of the circle. Okay, let's start with area of the square. How do you figure out the area of a square? Base times height. Okay, we're side squared. And what is the area of our square? 576 units squared. Okay, how do you find the area of a circle? Pi r squared, and in this case we also have to do what? Divide by 4, because we just have 1/4 of the circle. Okay, so you have pi 24 squared divided by 4. Leaving it in terms of pi, simplify that. 144 pi units squared. Okay, now I can go back and substitute into my equation. So I have 576 minus 144 pi. And let's round to the nearest hundredth. What is going to be the area of my shaded region? Units squared. Okay, so the most important thing, honestly, is setting up how you're going to get your answer. Okay, your formula, making sure you have that right, and then just start substituting in. Okay, because if you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do, like if you forget to do the area of the square, finding 1/4 of the circle does nothing for you. You need to make sure that you know what you're subtracting from what. Any questions on number 4? Okay, Number 5, find the area of the shaded part of the circle after solving this. How will your method change if the arc measure is 86 degrees instead? Okay, find the area of the shaded part. So if this is 60 degrees, what is the measure of your central angle? 60 degrees. What is the measure of this length right here? 12. Okay, how am I going to figure out the area of that little shaded part? In words first, before you start giving me formulas and numbers. How am I going to find that shaded part?
Area of the circle minus the area of the sector.
Area of the sector, so we're going to look at just that piece, remember?
Minus the area of the triangle.
Very good. Area of sector minus, I'm going to say A of triangle equals the shaded part. Alright, so let's start with area of a sector. Okay, how do you find area of a sector?
Pi r squared times theta over 3.
Very good. Okay, so we're going to have pi 12 squared times 60 over 360. Somebody get that in terms of pi?
24 pi.
Very good. 24 pi units squared.
I turned my phone off.
Oh, that's good. Okay, over here you have a triangle that looks something like this. You know that this is 12, this is 12, this is 60 degrees. Very good. Okay, so sometimes you have to use your trig, 30, 60, 90 triangles. Okay, what's going to be across from 30?
Wait, which cross? There's like 2.
X, but what is that value? 6, because you're splitting this in half. Okay, so now I'm going to redraw it. Ooh, that was ugly. That's okay. Okay, now I have 6, 12. This is 60 degrees. This is 30 degrees. Okay, so how do I figure out my height? It is 6 radical 3. So you take your x value, remember, which is 6, and you multiply that times radical 3. So your height is 6 radical 3. Okay, so when I'm plugging it into my equation, you have 1/2 b times h. What is my base? 6, and your height? Very good. Okay, so in your calculator, do that. $31.18. Oh, I made a mistake. What did I do? Did anybody find it before I tell you? Katie?
There's 2 like triangles.
Right, so my total base should have been what? I should have gone back to this triangle up here and made 12 my base, so this should be 12. Very good. Okay, so it's 62.35 units squared. Okay, I know that to find the area of the shaded region, I take the sector minus the triangle. Okay, so that's part 3. So 24 pi minus 62.35. Round that to the nearest hundredths, and what do you get? 13.03 units squared.
Wait, what did you say about the 12 again?
So when I had split it down here as this is my base, I was doing that for the 30, 60, 90. But if I do that, then that's only finding the area of this. I still have another part to find. So you could either multiply that area times 2, or just change your base back to the original, which was 12.
Wait, what is the triangle? Or like, how do you, I don't understand the 30, 60, 90 part.
Because you have to find the height. Right now you don't have the height of your triangle. So when you pull apart this triangle, okay, you have a 60-degree angle right here. You have the radius of 12 and 12 over here. But I don't have a height. And in order to calculate the area, I need to find this piece here. So that's when you use the 30, 60, 90. Because this is going to be perpendicular. Okay, you guys try example 3 on your own. Okay, first let's put into words how you're going to find it. Okay, how are you going to find the area of this shaded part?
Area of the sector. Wait,
Yeah, area of sector minus the area of triangle.
Okay, and in this case our sector is what shape? Semicircle. So, Chris, area of your semicircle, subtract the area of your triangle. So you guys work on that. It's very similar to the problem we did in number 5. But yes, your semicircle is the sector. It just so happens to be the shape of a semicircle. Alright, what did you guys get as the area of the semicircle? 50 pi units squared. What did you guys get as the area? First, what did you get as the height of your triangle? 10 radical 3. Did everybody see, understand how we found the height? Okay. So then what was the area of your triangle? 86.6. Let me see. I have mine in radical form still. Very good. 86 point, I'm going to go 603. Does everybody see how you got the area of the triangle? No? So you have 10 radical 3. What would be the length of this? 10. So you have 1/2 10 times 10 radical 3. And you're just typing that into the calculator. And that should give you 86.603.
I just forgot to divide it by 2.
Gotcha. Okay, and then final step was 50 pi minus 86.603. And what do you get as the area of the shaded region? Very good.
Wait, how come I did it a different way and I got the same answer?
How'd you do it?
Pi times 10 squared.
Pi times 10 squared is 100 pi.
I mean, I got 3 times pi, so 100 times pi, and I got 314.16. I don't know. I got the same answer.
Might have been coincidence. I'm not sure. You should have definitely had the 50 pi. Did you have 86.603? And then you had 100 pi over here?
I had 157.08. That's what I did. It's just 50 pi, but you actually did 50 pi.
Oh, you actually multiplied.
Yeah.
Times 3.14.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Your decimal might be off a little bit, just because 3.14 is rounded, versus typing in pi into the calculator. Any questions on example 3? Okay. Next one, you guys are going to do on your own again, but in words, how are you going to figure out the area of the shaded? Area of sector minus area of the triangle. Alright, what was the area of your sector? 24 pi, very good. Any questions on the sector part? Oh, sweet. Well, if you caught on to that, great. If you didn't, continuing on. Oh, yeah, it really is. Okay, area of the triangle is what? Very good. And your shaded area then was what? 14.04. Sweet. Extra practice if you did it twice. If you figured it out, hopefully you moved on to example 5 or something. Okay. Yeah.
Can you like go over how you found the area of the triangle? Yeah.
Okay, so it's going back to 30, 60, 90. So this is 12, this is 12, and this is 12. If that's 60 degrees, you have to split the triangle in half in order to figure out the height. So that 60-degree angle becomes what? 30. Okay, and then your 60-degree angle down here remains the same. When you split that in half, what does this base become? 6. So what is your height? 6 radical 3. So you have to know your 30, 60, 90 rules in order to solve it.
So do you split it that way?
You'll split it like this.
Okay.
So you multiply 24 by pi, right? And then
Yes.
you subtract it by
24 times pi minus the area of your triangle. Huh?
I want you to divide it by 2 then.
Because it's not a semicircle. It's not a semicircle. The other problem had a semicircle. That's why it was pi r squared divided by 2.
No, I'm talking about the triangle.
They already did divide it by 2.
Oh, really?
It was 1/2. Your base is 12 times 6 radical 3.
Oh, I multiplied 6 by 6 also.
Yeah, so you did what I did in that first problem. You had to account for the whole base.
Oh, okay.
Alright, example 5. Find the area of the shaded region. This time, what is your radius? 6. And what is your central angle? 60. Okay, so this time we want the shaded region, so how are we going to figure that out?
Of the sector subtract by the area of the triangle, and then do area circle minus all. Or do find the shaded region and then find an area of the circle. You know, she just said find the area of the circle minus the shaded.
Find the area of the circle. Okay, then what?
Minus the area of the triangle.
Minus the area of the triangle. I should have spelled it out.
Oh,
Minus the area of the sector. Very good. And then what?
And then minus the area of the what?
So right now we took the entire circle. Guys, we took the entire circle. We've now subtracted this whole part. So what do you have to add back? Add the area of the triangle. Alright, go for it. Area of the whole circle minus the sector, and then add back in the triangle. Yeah.
Okay, so doesn't the triangle, like, isn't the triangle inside the circle? Like, if you go
Right. That's why you have to add it back. Okay, guys. This is basically what we did. We took the area of the circle, so that whole thing. Okay, that's area of the circle. Now we took out the sector, so now we just have this. Following? Okay, and then we're left with adding the triangle back. Okay, so this is this sector, and that's that little arc piece. So we have this. Oh, I drew it backwards. And now we have to add the triangle back. So we took the whole thing, subtracted the sector, now we have to add the triangle back. Okay. What is the area of the circle? 36 pi, very good. What is the area of the sector? 6 pi. Okay, have we got to the triangle yet? Okay. What is the height of your triangle?
3 radical 3.
Very good. Okay, what's the area of the triangle?
15.588.
Let me see. Very good. 15.588. Okay, so in your calculator, round to the nearest hundredth to figure out the shaded area.
I think I did. I hope I did.
To the nearest hundredth. Okay, so 36 pi minus 6 pi plus 15.588, you should get what? 109.8. I had 8.4, but I left my terms exact. But as long as you're in the ballpark of 109.8, you're good. Unit squared. Okay, example 6. How am I going to figure out the measure of this angle? Supplementary. So what is our central angle measure? 140 degrees. What's the angle measure over here? 140 because of what? Vertical angle. So whatever I get as my sector piece right here, I can just multiply it by 2, right? Okay, so how do you find the area of the sector? Pi r squared times theta over 360. So in this case, you have a radius of 6 times 140 over 360. You could have also done 280 over 360. Kind of just depends on how you want to do it, because you're just multiplying by 2. You get 36 pi times 140 over 360. And what do you get as one piece? 14 pi. But you know you have to double it. So what is the shaded region?
28 pi.
Very good. And you have meters squared.
Do we like just leave it as pi? How did you get 14?
Doing this. This gives you 14 pi. And that was just the area of one sector, and you had to multiply it by 2 because it was the same. You can leave it in terms of pi. The only time you wouldn't is if it said to round to the nearest thousandth, tenth, or whatever. Questions on example 6? Okay. Last one I want you guys to do on your own or with your neighbor, however you want to do it. Example 7. Yep. Okay, what's the area of your square? 256 feet squared. Okay, because your length, each side is 8 feet. I lied, 16 feet. Okay, so your square is 256 feet squared. What is the area of your 4 circles? 64 pi. And when you subtract the 2, let's round to the nearest thousandth. 54.938 feet squared. Oops. Any questions? Okay, your skills check is going to be just like the first couple of problems we did, where you weren't like subtracting or adding or any of that. Okay, but your CBA does have those. Okay, so you are using the next 15 minutes to work in class on your homework. Okay, I'll put the answer key up here, and then the last 15 minutes will be the skills check. So you have until 11:45. Sorry, yeah, 11:45. Skills check has 4 problems. Could be. Okay. Homework answers are up here.
When you say area of the sector, do you mean like the area? Like the area they're asking for?
Not always. Area of the sector is whatever piece you're given that contains the shaded area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually.
So all these are 60 degrees. So you need to figure out the height, which is going to be what? Is this the one that we weren't supposed to do? No, we are. How do you figure out the height? If all these are 60 degrees.
Oh.
Very good. So the height is 6 root 3. Okay, so that's how you're going to get the area of your circle. Okay. And then now you need to figure out your radius, which is going to be some point out to here.
Oh, so that's 90, that's 60, that's 30, that's 60.
So this would be 30. Okay, let's do another one. This would be what?
30.
30, so I'm just going to redraw our triangle. We have 30, 30. How many degrees would be up here?
120.
120. Okay, we know that these are our radiuses. Okay, so you split this. What does that become? This is 60, or sorry, this is 6 and 6, because you split this.
Yeah.
What do those 2 degrees become?
This? Okay. 60 and 60.
So this is now 60, 30. This is 6.
That's 90. Okay.
So now you need to solve for your radius.
Will we ever have a problem like this?
Huh? Could have one on a CBA, not on your skills check.
What do you have? A smile you get at? Check my story.
Some more electric for you got some outside though.
Reviews are posted online. They're gone out there. You have 10 minutes before your skills check. Make sure you memorize that equation.
I gotta memorize it. For the entire square times negative.
So the Boston Marathon's going on right now. I don't know if any of you guys keep up with sports. And it's pouring rain. Like a monsoon. And they're having to run a marathon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I'll put it up there.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are both the leaders.
How long is the Boston Marathon? 26.2 miles. Yeah, that's a no for me.
And they also do paraplegic marathons. And so, like this guy right here,
Oh, yeah.
he's having to do that in the rain. Like, the water is literally, like, spitting up in his face.
Yeah, no,
I've never run a marathon. Wait,
She's gonna do it next year. You have to qualify. She qualified.
no one asked Parsley. Yeah, I have actually.
Y'all, get going! I see a lot of people just socializing. Get going.
How do you do number 3 on the other pages?
You take the area of the sector, minus the triangle, and that's going to give you the area of the shaded region. So take the sector with your sector formula, subtract the triangle, and then you get your piece.
It's a wild time.
Did she finish?
Yeah, she's the winner of the paraplegic.
Do they have to do like 26.2 miles in a wheelchair?
It's called push rim. She's obviously good at it. She's won 5 times.
Look at her shaking. She's so cool. Get the girl inside.
Could you imagine just looking down like that for 26.2 miles?
I like watching it.
Like my standard is really ineffective.
Ashton, get going. You were missed half the lesson. Then get to teaching.
First you have to find the area.
We're not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm allowed to punch them or kick them anywhere on the body, but I can't choke them. They're getting the whole thing.
Oh.
I'll